And we're live. Welcome to Sunday Night Tool Talk Live with me and the missus and whatever's
Maybe we're on. We don't know.
on her head. How's
Don't
everyone
be
doing
jealous.
tonight?
It's the children's Mother's Day gift to me. One of them.
Is it now?
Yep.
Alrighty.
I forgot to wear the other one.
Let's say hi to everyone. We got Two Feather Channel in the house, Chrome Dynamics, Kevin's in here, Futon 02, Die Diz, Barbecue 76. Anybody else around? We got Rail 9222. Brian's in the house. Neil F is here. Levick, David Gerhardt, Andrew Miller's around, and Steven, of course, is here. Anybody else? Look, maybe that's. Oh, and Michael shows up at the last minute, and Luciano and my workshop. All right. Yes. Heidi ho, everyone, and everyone else who's not chatting. Remember, you can chat anytime. We don't bite.
Are we paused?
Okay, she does. That video is paused. Okay. The real video is not.
I knew that.
We don't need to watch ourselves as we're
testing
recording.
You. That's
You've
right.
done this before, right?
No, never. It's my first time. Thank you for all the support.
Okay, hey everyone, remember to type in, like it says right above my Chrome Dome here, says type at the Den of Tools, just like it looks up there. Don't change it. If you type it in just like that, no spaces, everything else, it'll come up and it will show like that big orange blurb right there to us, and we will read all of those comments. So let me go through and read some of the comments already. Chrome Dynamics says, I want you to talk a little bit about Duratech and gear drive tools. You can view them, buy them on Amazon. I think a lot of viewers are missing out on some great tool deals. I have seen the Duratech and gear drive stuff, and I've been tempted to talk about it. One of the reasons is that they sell stuff that comes, a lot of their stuff already comes in trays, very similar to, hold on here. It's this one, maybe this one. It's one of these. Oh, it's this one. Very similar to this sort of thing. So it gets you a, so yeah, it's really nice for putting into tool drawers, stuff like this. Makes organization a lot easier. And I'm a big one for having nice organization in my drawers. Ow!
Ow!
As I nail my knee on the desk. I've not tried them. I have chatted with the guy. Somebody from Gear Drive sent me an email a while ago, and I made the comment to him that it sounds like they're trying to get sued by Gear Wrench, because they wanted me to take a look at their ratcheting wrenches, and I'm like, Gear Drive, Gear Wrench. If I was a lawyer for Gear Wrench, probably be having words with you. But anyway, that doesn't say anything about the quality of the tools.
Shaka. $2 super checked. Different day, same message. Ryobi is trash.
Just Ryobi today?
Just Ryobi
Just
today.
Ryobi.
Just Ryobi today.
And Kevin asked, could you talk about the 12-volt skill line a bit? I've been trying to convince a few people they're great tools, and most don't believe me. I believe there's a skill driver right there. Can you hand it to me? Right, the red one? There you go. That's the one. That's it. Just grab it. Like a rabbit. Where's my battery pack for it? I don't know. Anyway, I have the skill 12-volt line. This is the drill driver. I have the impact. I've got the saw, the skill saw up there. And they're fantastic tools for the money. I mean, it's 12 volts all about size, convenience. One of the things, often I say that brushed tools are just fine. When you're going to 12 volt, getting brushless is nice because it adds a little bit of something to them. You get better battery life, which is you're dealing with smaller batteries, is an issue. All the Skill 12 volt line is brushless. I'm really happy with them. I think they're fantastic. I will say this: they did send me a couple things. They sent me this light, which I haven't shown anybody yet. And this thing is interesting. So it's got like kind of a rafter hook built into it, but then it's got a rafter hook on top of that. It's got two magnetic mounting points. It will swivel in all sorts of different directions. It'll go down to here. Feels like it should fall flat, but it doesn't. All the way back. It's really bright.
Whoa, really?
Bright. And well, I'm not going to shine it at them. And you're already glowing. Anyway, it's a great little light. And what else did they send me? They sent me, it's around here, Duncan was playing with it. He likes to run off with the tools. They sent me the ratchet, and the electric ratchet. I got to tell you,
Yeah.
that thing is big and heavy for a 12-volt tool. I'm not so sure that's my favorite tool. I like having the option in the 12-volt line. At least it's there. Not my favorite. Everything else, it's the only thing I've tested so far from the 12-volt line where I'm like, eh. But yeah, for the money, I mean, the only thing else really to step up to after that is the M12, and we actually had a whole conversation about that in the Facebook page the other day, or today I think it was. All right, let's see what else everyone has to say here. Get my cords out of the way. Oh, also, if I seem a bit off today, I got my first vaccine shot today for the COVID thing. I got the Pfizer. Is that it? I got that one because I'm attending trade shows this summer, and I just had to do it. I'm not thrilled about it, but I got it 2 hours ago. So if I fall over, that's what's going on. Levick says, quick rain today in Vegas plus some thunderstorms. Yep, we're over here on the west side. We actually have the garage door open to let some of that nice, cool, rainy-esque kind of breeze through because you don't get that a lot here. And it's been nice this afternoon.
I like it cool.
Yeah, this is great. A little bit of rain is a good thing around here. Barbecue 76 says, yes, I barbecued tonight. I had a couple of friends over the house, and that California boy made tri-tip. My friends asked if they could take it home with them. I gave them to-go bags.
Aww, that's a good friend.
Yeah, I remember the first time somebody served me a tri-tip. I'm like, what the hell's a tri-tip? And you were not here. That means you missed out. Well, maybe next time, if you're lucky enough. No doubt, man. No doubt. Luciano says, hey, Den of Tools. And let's see here. And he also says, have you ever done a video on W.W. Granger? No, I have not, but that's a good idea. I should. That's a really good idea. Can you jot that down in your little to-do list thing?
What was it?
Granger?
Granger. Yep.
Linda says the unicorn is back. Scott says, good evening, guys. Deleted user says, hey, Bear, it's Allie. Frank Landgriff is in the house. How you doing, Frank?
Hey.
He says hello. Mater's in the house. Says, thanks for your input the other day. I didn't get the box because it was sold before I could get back. I'm sorry about that. Also, sorry for missing your... he did a live stream today, and we were out getting me all shot up.
Yep. I was expecting it to be like a Hulk moment where you would magically transform. It's not what happened.
The kids were over at friend's house, so we had to go do that, and that took forever. My appointment was for I think it took 45 minutes after my appointment for them to actually poke me.
Yeah.
And getting the shot took, and the guy felt like he made it take longer than it really needed to be, and I think it was in that room for 2 minutes. I'm like, just zap me and let me go.
Yeah. Tag you and release you.
Barbecue 76 says, just started the stream by lying. He says we don't bite. Well, guess one of them does, and it's not the animated bear. I was about to say, well, at least I'm like, I don't.
Yep. Princess Jamie with a $5 super chat. Stop talking trash.
That's not what she said.
No, that's not what she said. $5 super chat says, evening all. Finally home from my international travels yet again. I love that you travel so much.
Woohoo!
And yes, Red, the CJ7 is safe and sound, ready for daily commute.
That's excellent. Yeah. Speaking of which, a lot of people saw my post about the BMW we bought. I've been looking to buy a car. I finally bought a car. This car is, you understand, a lot of people are like, that thing is going to die. It's going to blow up, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, drama llamas. It's a really well-sorted car. We got lots of service records on it because we actually bought it from Celebrity Cars here in Vegas, and it was the owner's personal daily driver. So it's been well taken care of, and yes, garage kept and the whole 9 yards. But it's not going to be a daily driver for us. It's going to be running to the grocery store, going to pick up the kids, Basically, it's gonna be a secondary car for us when we're in Vegas, and then not used much. Although, and may use it when we're in Montana. I could see her borrowing it for an evening out.
Yeah.
But and then also, I'm not planning to keep it forever. I needed something for the summer that had good AC. All right, because the truck, the Suburban, the Suburban, does not have AC, and it's going back to Montana where it belongs. So,
Yep.
need something to get through the summer, and then after that, I don't know. She really wants an Escalade, and I kind of promised her one. Not a new one. We don't buy new cars. All right, that doesn't happen.
Nope.
If I won the lottery, I still probably wouldn't buy a brand new car. I'd probably buy one that was like 3 to 5 years old.
Accounting is telling you now.
I am accounting. What are you talking about? Anyway. Jeff McGee says, "Hey guys, happy Sunday." Thank you, Jeff. Was there something else?
Dewey Nassar.
Dewey Nassar.
Thank you. Became a member.
New member at Dental Tools. Thank you so much. That's awesome. And Matt R says, "Jeff, I'm going to use my purchase card to buy an impact driver for light use with medical equipment. It's the Atomic for around $99. Okay, or would you avoid that model?" If you're already in the DeWalt line, I've heard great things about the Atomic line. I do get a little iffy about impacts and medical equipment, but
I'm just trying to process that. That's what I'm like. Did he read that correctly?
well, I don't work on medical equipment, so I'm not the person to ask about that.
I'm envisioning you with a defibrillator and being like, "Hang on, hold my beer, I can fix this," and being like, "No."
I'm the idiot who, like, if you left a defibrillator around me, would be zapping people with it on the backside. Psst.
I can tell you who the people would be.
But anyway, the what could you use on the kids? Don't be ridiculous. The only thing I would consider would be something like the 12-volt line from Milwaukee or something like that.
I feel like I'm gonna give someone a seizure with this.
Me, maybe.
I'm okay with you.
Simply Small Engine Repair says,
"Hey, $5 super chat says we still need to have a bear in Vegas."
beer.
Oh, a beer.
There's already a bear in Vegas.
I might be going next month. We should have a meetup. Love your videos. Email.
Yeah, email me, red@denatools, and I should be here until...
So what I'm hearing is I'm going to send Simply Small Engines $20, and he's going to be the little bird that checks out.
The 11th or 12th of June, because I'm going to be here through World of Concrete. I found out Barrett-Jackson's going to be happening later in the month.
I think it's the next week.
And you told me I should stay and do Barrett-Jackson.
Yes.
But do you guys really want to see Barrett-Jackson? How about that? You let me know. If you want me to, if there's enough people out there, I'll do a poll on the community page. And if enough people say, "Hey, we really want to see a Barrett-Jackson video," then I'll stay for Barrett-Jackson. Otherwise, I'm coming back, because then Meekum is later in the fall, and I'm definitely going to Meekum. So,
anyways, my thought is you guys would think it was cool and that you would have fun. And I know you guys are all like, "Oh my gosh, it's terrible that I'm suggesting that you stay." So, Steven, you're correct. He says, "Hold my beer." More like, "Hold my whiskey." That's correct.
Yes, exactly.
Marine X. Holy
Marine
guacamole. $49.99.
Oh,
I
wow.
have my glasses on, but they're not correct because I did not see that. It says, "Great advice on not letting sponsors dictate when and how to create videos. I've said no to a lot lately, and it feels good." It does.
It does feel good. And thank you so much for the support. And as people could say, we get a lot of people who believe this ideal of, well, if somebody sponsored a video or somebody sends you free stuff, you're gonna be in the bag for them. I'm like, if you've seen my videos, you know that is not the case.
Yeah.
And the reality is, there's so many companies out there. I could trash each and every one of them, and another one would stand up right behind them and be like, "Oh, can we go next?" And I hate to say it, and it sounds terrible, but the reality is, a lot of them are not native English speakers anyway. So as long as you say terrible things in a great tone and smile while you do it, they have no idea. It's like talking to the dog.
Marine X, thank you again so much for the super chat. I know we're talking over each other. And it was interesting that you said that, Marine X, because I was literally having this conversation about half an hour ago with our new neighbors. And talking about how...
The ones there, or over there?
The ones where he's swimming.
Ah, okay.
But yes, we were just talking about that, about how If, we're super honest, if the product is not a great product, and really not something that we would recommend or stand behind, we don't say it's a great product. We're honest.
Yeah. Any news on the Cat 18? All I've heard is a bunch of people lately asking about it, saying that it's going to show up somewhere, but I have not seen it yet, and it's been a while since we heard about it. James says, howdy all, greetings from NWPA. Luciano says, have you thought about making a video on Granger? We just talked about that. Also, how do I dust the blower unit of a rigid shop vac? Where the fabric layer is. You reverse it, you take it outside, you blow it, and then maybe you wash it. Patrick says, yes, Gear Wrench objected to their trademark. That's when they came out as Duratech. Well, that's good. I mean, it looks like I'm all for competitive products, especially if they come in at a lower price point and they deliver. And I do like what they're doing as far as the packaging and stuff. At some point I will take a look at some. I haven't had a chance to actually get my hands on any. Frank says, I'm looking for a generator in the 12,000 watt range. Any suggestions? And I'll tell you what, anything past what like you're going to get from like the Harbor Freight or anything like that, I go with Onan? We've had the big green ones. It's Onan, right? Owen? Oh. I can't remember how to pronounce it.
Yeah, neither can I, because you keep saying two different ones.
And I know.
It makes my brain go, which one is it?
Yeah, it's the big green generators.
The big green one. Can't miss them. They're big and green.
My workshop says, thanks for the response on the project video. Wish more people would watch your DIY projects. Hey, no problem. He actually asked on one of the videos, like, why I don't do more projects instead of just sitting here talking about tools and stuff. I've done projects in the past, and no one's interested in seeing projects. So, unless I'm doing like, and if you look at the videos, they get a lot of views when it comes to like projects. It's stuff like how to make a katana out of, hardwood and stuff like that. And I'm not doing stuff like that. I make stuff for the shop. I fix things for the house. I do that sort of thing. I'm not making, art pieces and such.
Mater's Workshop says Onan.
Onan. Thank you. That's it.
Thank you.
Let's see here. The Scorpion Sunday says, hello, Bear family. Hey. Let's see here. Seth Weezy, long time, first time, and can catch you live for once. Normally listen Monday at work. Well, that's awesome. Glad you could make it. Edward Grace is upset about something. Maybe not enough fiber in his diet. Greg says, you talk about Hart tools. What do you think of the Hyper Tough tools? I've talked about the Hyper Tough tools. We haven't done a lot of videos on them, but the Hyper Tough tools are, I think, for people on a tight budget, I think they're an excellent choice. And on top of that, they do one of the things that I really love, which is they offer 40-volt outdoor power equipment that instead of having to step up to an entirely different battery line, uses 2 of the 20-volt batteries. It's a great idea. I mean, it's not like a new idea, and I don't know why more companies don't do it. But anyway, I think that's a great value. And if you hunt around Walmart and you pay attention, you can find them on sale for really good prices. That light looks like a suntan on a stick. It does, doesn't it? And Pyolan says, speaking of 12-volt skill line, I was finally able to get the deal I asked about 2 weeks ago. I got from Lowe's the drill impact 2 batteries for only $69. Holy cow, that's better than the deal I got. The drill, the impact, and 2 batteries, because I got the drill, the impact, and 1 battery and the charger. I'm assuming you got a charger with that. And I paid $84, and I thought that was a screaming deal. That is smoking hot. Dewey says, which jigsaw do you like most out of Cobalt or DeWalt? The Cobalt jigsaw is a decent jigsaw. It really is. But it's nothing to write home about. DeWalt's got better jigsaws. They really do. They do a good job. The XR jigsaws is a good jigsaw. Did you have something you wanted to add?
I just saw myself glaring at you.
Oh, nice. Luciano says, have you thought about making... we talked about Granger. Also, you don't need to repeat yourself. I will get to each and every question. So, we do get a little behind, but we catch up eventually. It may be tomorrow, but we get there eventually. Let's see here. Garrett says Empire actually stands behind their lifetime warranty. I was surprised. I had a 96-inch for 6 years and it went bad, so I bought a new one in November and it went bad already. I called because I figured a 2-hour phone call is worth $200. After some pics over the email, they're sending me 2 new levels. I'm thoroughly impressed with the company now. I thought 8 was going to go 6 to get the rigid treatment. Oh, yeah. You know, it's funny. So Empire, if I'm not mistaken, is owned by TTI. And, you know, they do a great job with the warranty on everything on Milwaukee and on Ryobi. Rigid is, I think the issue with Rigid is because it's licensed and it goes through Emerson. So I think that's where they drop the ball with the Rigid thing. But on everything else, I've been really happy, and everyone I've seen has been happy with their support. Jason says, I just picked up the Milwaukee M12 pin nailer today. I thought it was worth the money. Runs like butter and extremely compact. What do you think about it? I don't have the pin nailer. I do have the stapler, and it's fantastic. And I want to get the pin nailer. Pin nailer. I think they're great as far as I'm a big fan of the 12-volt line. And what basically, I don't need the 12-volt line. I have tons of other tools. But I like the compactness of the 12-volt stuff. And basically what I found is that it enables me to sit back and snipe stuff when it comes out at a super cheap price and go, okay, now I'll buy it. But for people who need the tools, it gets a little more aggravating or pricey, however you look at it.
Hey, Tammy. Says, see you on the next one. I'm on a night shift.
Oh.
So I know you didn't do that too at the Den of Tools, but I did see it. So have a great shift. We totally understand. Thank you for joining us.
That's hard work working nights.
Absolutely.
More power to you. Halon's in the house. Hey, Mr.
That.
Wolf. Whoa, I'm tripping. I see a light unicorn and it was lighting unicorn horns on a horn. Jeff, we're not in Kansas anymore.
There's no unicorn horns that are lighted. You're hallucinating.
Yeah. D. Ray says, finally something to do while I'm at work, although I'm a little late. We won't tell anyone. And deleted user says, so what's up with Harbor Freight chargers and batteries? After I charge them, they give a very odd smell and get very hot.
After you use them or after you charge them?
I've never had that problem. Where did it go? You guys moved everything on me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I was just charging a bunch of Hercules batteries the other day, and I've never had that problem. I mean, out of the box, there's always that smell. But no, I've never seen that. The Lucas says, I got a dead spot in my yard. I told the Lowe's guy, I go to Lowe's, told the guy I need some bad black grass seed, and he asked what was the brand. We laughed for 10 minutes, just wanted to share the story. It'd probably be funnier if I actually read it correctly, right? Aaron says, pretty sure the Pfizer vaccine isn't approved for bears. Well, that's why I got it. He doesn't need it.
He just looked at us and walked away.
Yep. Dean says, I will pray for you. I'm a medic, and so far they're not making us take it. I think they're afraid to lose half their staff. I was a little worried because everyone I've talked to who's taken the vaccine has had a really kind of negative reaction to it. But also, I'm pretty sure everyone I know who's taken it also had the Moderna one. I wonder if it's also related to people who didn't already have COVID. So I had COVID. We had it last November and December. And so I wonder if it doesn't affect us because our body's already shifted, adjusted, or whatever for it.
Yeah.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Because, knock on my wife that, there's some wood. Me superstitious? No. But I don't feel any adverse effects from it.
I was going to say, don't tell him about the horn that's growing out of the center of his forehead.
Kevin says, I'm a UPS driver. I delivered the very first Pfizer vaccine package to Ascension Healthcare Hospital. Pretty cool, I must say. That is pretty cool. Antonio says, stop by to say hey to Jeff. Hey to the Den and Jeff and Jesse. Hope you're all well. On a service call, be safe. Garrett says, tri-tip is good. If you cook it right, it reacts more like steak than a roast. I would agree to that. The Javier says, "Hey guys, hi Javier." And Neil said, "I was talking to Chrome Dynamics." Matt says, "Good evening, Jess and Jeff. Jesse and Jeff." Oh. David says, "Watching tonight from camp. Have internet access here now. That's awesome."
I think I found a side effect, honey.
What's that? I can't read.
You're unable to make your mouth do what you want.
Princess Jamie says, "I approve of the purchase. They aren't that bad to work on, in my opinion, when you learn its quirks. The BMWs, they're not. And honestly, my hope is, the oil in it was just changed. It's got brand new tires. It's had a ton of work done to it. In fact, that's the guy, when I bought it, was actually wanting quite a bit more money. And he's like, well, I put a bunch of money into this. And I'm like, I can buy other ones for less than this. He's like, and he said, well, I had all the service work done, And I said, so your argument is you owned a BMW and you put a lot of work into it for maintenance. He's like, yeah. I'm like, isn't that the same thing as owning a BMW? And he's like, well, yeah, kind of is. I'm like, okay, then. So, assumingly, unless the other ones are complete trash, then so is everyone else. And and then he immediately came down off the price. So, it is, I'll be honest, it's probably too small. It's definitely too small for a daily driver. It's too low, is what it is. It's too low for me. I've got bad knees. too low for a daily driver, but it is so nice to drive. It's been a long time since I've owned a German car, and I honestly had forgotten how good they drive. Let's see here. I was telling the wife that maybe we should get an X5, sell that and get an X5. They need to make an X7, right? Or not. She doesn't. See, here's the thing that a lot of people, because a lot of people don't think the way that people like me do. I'm used to having cars, like a lot of cars, like 6 to 9 cars at any time.
Okay, that's called a problem. It's called a car problem.
No, it's called tools. I need to go and take some yard waste to the dump. You take the pickup truck. We need to take everyone, their brother and their hooligans, to the zoo for a day trip. You take the Suburban. We're going out for an evening on the town. We take the BMW. You see, you got all these different tools. We want to go, trail running up in the backcountry. You take the Jeep. They're tools. But I never buy super expensive. Like this, sure, this car, brand new, was over $100,000. Now, it was well under 10. So, it's, I let somebody else pay the depreciation, and we enjoy the fruits of their labors.
Yes, I am a big fan of that. Also, I am kidding him about the fact that it's a car problem. I get that they're tools. And...
No, she's not.
And we also got it. The car.
We did. And who drives it more? Liar. You straight up liar.
So far, I have driven it more. But when I'm gone and not here, then you'll drive it more. You see how that works? Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Michael says, my 07 is costing me this week new tires, TMPS sensors, later as in less than a week. It's going to need new struts, 4 corners. Life ain't cheap. Yeah. Levick says, you should come out to Cars and Coffee first and third Sunday of each month. Gears and Grinds on Sunset and Baguette Cafe. Bring the BMW. Come see some cool cars. I will do that. I'd love to do that. First and third Sunday.
You have to send him an email. I'll be honest.
Yeah, if you send me an email at red@denatools.com and I will be there. The Cubs have been wanting to go, that's for sure.
Yeah. Mike, this is $200 super chat. Did you see leak for Ryobi's new tools for next week? $2 super chat.
I don't know if it was a leak. I heard discussions about it. I'm going to tilt the camera down here a little bit because I'm going to sit back and relax. There we go. Can we still see you?
Who
I
knows?
guess.
Who knows?
I guess.
Whatever.
I saw about the tools. I didn't realize it was a leak. I thought Ryobi had announced it, but I'll double check and see if it's the same thing. Where we go? Steven says, any idea when you're going back to Montana? She is going back this week. Mm-hmm. And the Cubs. Two of the Cubs.
I know.
Yeah, two of the Cubs. And then in June, me and the Labradog are going back. We're driving. She's flying because she's special. And she's flying first class on Allegiant.
First class on Allegiant. You've lost your mind.
And then I'm driving back.
I'm pretty sure on Allegiant that I'm actually like doing the craft services on the plane. I'm the flight attendant.
I'm pretty sure they've got like oars and you're rowing.
I'm flapping the wings on the plane. Yeah.
Matt says, we already have 20-volt DeWalt max batteries at work. Perhaps you could recommend a drill driver instead. No, if you're already got the battery, then yeah, go with the whatchamacallit. I just forgot the Atomic line. They're nice, compact. They're DeWalt's answer to Makita's compact stuff. They're decent tools. And Non-Expert says, hey, you two, happy Sunday. Make a concrete fire table. Making a concrete fire table today. In super nice weather in Washington. Filming has started, so stay tuned. But as always, I'm not an expert. I love it. That's great. Clint says, Jeff, glad you're a fan of Cerakote more ways than one. More people should get the Cerakote headlight restore kit. I was pretty happy with it. It was super easy to do. I was almost bummed. In fact, I'm not going to lie. I was actually bummed that no power tools were required. Kevin says, just want to say thank you for the new skill line recommendations. $10 super chat says, got rid of my rigid stuff and switched over to skill. That's awesome. Thank you so much. $10 super chat.
Wow.
Have you come up with a thing to do yet?
I'm going to turn the horn on.
There you go.
I'm super sorry. One of the kiddos is not home, and I was getting a text message about that. So thank you so much for the $10 super chat. You were going to the dot. I'm going to. Anyways, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I super apologize that I was distracted.
She's going to gore me on live TV here.
And then I'm going to be like, he got that shot.
Matt says, would love to see Jeff or the Bear do Barrett-Jackson. Barrett-Jackson? Get it?
Thank you, Matt.
You're just trying to get rid of me longer.
I'm going to send you the payment. It'll be in the mail. Thank you.
Evening, Jeff and Jesse and all. Oh, Philly Fixed in the house.
Hey.
The thing is, if I do Barrett-Jackson, then I got to get a hotel room down at Mandalay Bay.
No,
I guess I'm staying.
You know where you could stay that would be cheaper than there? Circus. I know that you love it there. It's fantastic. I've heard... Ooh, or the Excalibur. I've heard that it's incredibly clean there. Mm-hmm.
I don't have my rabies vaccine shot, so I can't go to
tetanus.
Circus. Oh.
Anyways, but yes, you would have to stay at another hotel.
Dean says defibrillators do have a lifespan.
Tell me more.
After it's over, we use them for CPR training. Hope there's no spark left in them.
Well, okay, so I haven't done a CPR training in a while, and I need to do another one. But it just, talked us through the process. And you were supposed to imagine that it was delivering the shock. It was talking, but it didn't actually shock you.
Chrome Dynamics says, does Harbor Freight ever respond to suggestions made on their website? I made one for an Icon quality telescoping socket driver. The Pittsburgh one is good and never heard back. They do. In fact, they do listen to people. But I'll be honest, you're probably more likely to get them to think about it if you post a comment in my videos. Because they actually have people who are staffed to read the comments and all. It has to be in a Harbor Freight related video. But in a Harbor Freight related video, if you made that comment, there's a good chance they will read it.
You're really handsome.
I know.
Wow.
Futon 2 says, got the Apache 1800 waterproof case with the 30% off coupon. Great for wireless paper punchers and magazines. It is. Those are great cases for the money, man. And that coupon is still good. Is it today the last day or is it tomorrow last day? I don't remember. Michael says, on the subject of reviews, I've worked with one vendor on how to improve existing products. Went so far as to rewrite an instruction sheet so that the English works better. I have sent people comments. You know, manufacturers. What was the one they said? They said some people say that our product is blah blah blah. I'm like, do us all a favor. Never say that line again. All right. Some people say. They're like, what? I'm like, it's the cheesiest, you know, marketing line ever known to mankind. Christopher says, I recently bought the 2-pack of DeWalt 6 amp hour DeWalt batteries and also got the DeWalt multi-tool with a 5 amp hour battery, and the 5 amp hour is way smaller. Can you explain? Is it the new 21700s? Because a lot of times they're slimmer. They're a little bit wider, though. Jeff says, my daughter Grace says hi.
Hi, Grace. Oh, wait. I'll turn this back on. Maybe you're an adult and this is weird. But if you're not, hope you're having a great night.
Tammy says, at Dental Tools, Craftsman hammer drill and impact driver is 3-speed and is brushless kit at Lowe's for $250. That's the Craftsman is your prosumer grade, and it's $250.
I didn't know where you were reading. Sorry.
Maybe it's great. I have not tried them. It just seems up there for that grade tool. Go ahead.
Michael Mackey, I hope that I'm saying your last name correctly. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. You didn't have a message. Sometimes people include something. But thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I know that we always thank you, but we really appreciate it. It totally helps us be able to do more cool and amazing things with our channel. So we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Chris Perez, does the 6 amp give more power? 6 amp is a high output. So not only does it give more power, but it can discharge the power faster. John says, someone is giving me a M18 drill and driver set. Is it worth my time and money to stay in the M18 line, even just for DIY projects? Hold on, we got a helicopter flying over.
They're coming to get me. We're going to go somewhere fabulous.
Sounds like police.
Looks like
Coast
Guard.
That's rescue.
Yeah. Well, whoever that is, hopefully that's not from Lake Mead.
No, it's not from Lake Mead either.
What?
Why would they take them from Lake Mead and fly them all the way over here?
I don't know. I was just, hoping that they're
She's
okay.
geographically challenged. But they are headed up to Red Rock, and it could be hikers up in the mountains and flash floods. That's or it could also be whatchamacallit. What's the mountain over there?
I don't know. I'm geographically
the big
challenged.
one that people go skiing on.
Haven't a clue. No,
Anyway,
Charleston.
Charleston. Just because you might know the name, you just don't know where it is. Is the M18 worth your time? That's really hard for me to say for you because it's a personal valuation. I would be hard pressed as an average DIYer to stick with the M18 lineup because it's just so expensive for batteries and for all the accessories and everything. Yes, you can find sales, but you know what? You can find sales on everything else. So yeah, if it was me and I was just a DIYer, I would probably say no. But I'm extremely thrifty on that kind of stuff. I'm always looking for the best value. Futon02.
1579 super chat. Thank you. With all of your not even numbers. Puddle pirate choppers to the rescue. Your icon's different. I like it.
It is.
Thank you.
Actually a futon.
Yes. Thank you so much for the $15.79. Craig, and is it Nyes? Please tell me if I'm saying your last name incorrectly. $5 super chat says, good evening all. Great videos this week. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
Let's see here. Fred says, ONG Bear, have you ever seen a hot round blow up a gun? Normal PSI. I have never seen. Wife is positive for coronavirus. Really sorry about that.
We will definitely keep your family in our prayers.
I have never seen a hot round blow up a gun in real life. I've seen lots of videos. I did see Kentucky Ballistics, and our prayers went out to him and his family. I think it's great what a lot of the other guys are doing by making videos for him to post on his channel because it's harder for him to do content right now. and to keep his channel going. I think that's fantastic. But anyway, yeah, it's it's really dangerous, and that's what the other thing is why I won't shoot somebody else's reloads. If factory reloads, I'm totally fine with. Personal reloads, someone's like, "Oh, I reloaded these myself." I'm like, "Thanks, I'm gonna pass."
Yeah, that does always make me kind of like.
Yeah, Lucas
Zelenal? Okay, you have to tell us how to say your last name. $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Zelenal?
That sounds like a medication.
Could be.
Zelenol now with reduced side effects.
Our name sounds like a real estate agency.
It does. Too bad we're not. Let's see here. Antonio says project videos don't get a ton of views on my channel. Tool videos get more views for me also. Scott says, do you think Harbor Freight will ever sell jack stands again? In fact, I know they will. In fact, let's just say that Agent Deep Freight went hog wild today. I got several comments from our Deep Freight agents out in the field, and I have a slew of information coming in for you. Could you go and turn off the air conditioning, please?
Perhaps.
Thank you. So yeah, I know that they are coming out with jack stands again. When they will be in stock, I don't know. And I don't think they will be the same form factor either. The Throttle Power says, really enjoying the show tonight, Jeff and Jesse. Have a great evening. Thank you so much. Groovejet in the house. Hey guys, I'm okay. A few weeks now, I've ended up on government benefits. Working 10 years with my family was too much in the end. Wore me down like the 90s tune. The only way is up. Well, wow. I'm sorry to hear that. I do know what burning out feels like. I've been there a couple times in my life. And, it's one of the reasons that got me to walk away from California and go on to YouTube and do my own thing because I was done with that. Anyway, I hope things turn around for you. Let's see here. Jared says you should see the deals for Metabo cordless tools at Lowe's. Are you joking? Because I've been the one talking about the deals for Metabo cordless deals at Lowe's. We're the channel that first started talking about it. Tammy says, I need to go to work, and the Craftsman hammer drill and impact driver's 3-speed. Okay, we talked about that one. Let's see here. Michael says, what's the best deal for a laser line generator? Lowe's had a Craftsman on sale, specified as a line generator, but it's actually a red 3-dot. I don't know. I don't follow the pricing on those. That's the kind of thing that usually it's a very specific tool. People are like, okay, well, I need to go and get blah, blah, blah. I know Harbor Freight's coming out. Their new tools. They have one that says it's a line generator and one I think that says it's a 3-dot. I see a lot of the Bosch stuff that goes on sale all the time. In fact, what I would do is I would go to Home Depot and you go to the center aisle near the hardware section. There's always that one end cap that has clearance stuff. And there is almost always a laser line level in that end cap. It never ceases to be there. And Antonio says, back to service calls. Have fun. You all be safe. Take care. Good to see Jeff and Jesse and everyone. Kevin says, would you consider Masterforce power tools in the prosumer category? I've used several of them and they're quite impressive. I would definitely consider at least the brushless ones. The brushed they're both made by Shervon. They're excellent level tools. I would put them somewhere between the probably in the same level as like the skill line of tools. Hey, who goes join me? Oh, you're not gonna join me?
No.
Where are you leaving?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
A barbecue.
Oh, you bring me back barbecue?
No.
Go, give us a hug. You have fun.
Bye.
Is little Griff not going?
He is. We're picking him up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You all have fun.
Yes.
Where was it? Steve says, how is the heart jigsaw? As I said in the Heart Days video, I'm contemplating getting one myself. I have one. They sent it to me. I think it's perfectly fine. It's not a high-end commercial grade. It's not I'm a professional woodworker kind of trade tool, but it is definitely for like the DIYer. It's more than enough. It does. I'll be honest. I don't know what it is. A lot of people are really nitpicky when it comes to jigsaws. And I think the issue is I don't use them a ton. I use them when I need a jigsaw. There are some people who are like, I'm always using a jigsaw for everything, and that's great. I use jigsaws mostly when I can't use a saw in another situation, or when I've got to cut a curve and I don't have a bandsaw set up or something like that. That's when I go to a jigsaw. And for me, I've had the Harbor Freight corded jigsaw, the Chicago Electric with the orbital action for years, and it's been great for me. The Hart one is essentially the same kind of quality, but cordless. The Z says, just bought a Milwaukee radio. It didn't have Bluetooth. I hated that. It won't be telling my boss that I took it back for DeWalt. He hates Milwaukee. I bought a Milwaukee radio. It didn't have Bluetooth. I hated that. LOL. Won't be telling my boss that I took back for DeWalt. He hates Milwaukee. Yeah. I know. One of these days I'm going to do a roundup of all the radios. We should do that. And let's see here. Echo Belkin says, happy late Mother's Day. I'll let her know when she gets back out. Not sure what she's doing in there. By the way, let's see. Captain Pork Sword says, the 10 of tools. Did you see the deal on DeWalt 20-volt atomic drill with the two 1.5 batteries and charger for $100 down from $159? I didn't see that one. Was this at Lowe's? I saw the one with the 12-volt extreme, not the atomic. But I didn't see the atomic one yet. Scorpion, did you make yourself a Bloody Mary there?
No, that's my juice.
Scorpion Sun says, gotta get up in a few hours. You have a good night. Who is it? Echo Belkin said, happy late Mother's Day.
Oh, thank you. And that's true for all of the mothers.
Marine X says, I like the Metabo, not Metabo HPT 12-volt PowerMax line. Great tools to keep in my truck EDC kit. They're kind of hard to find, though, unless you're ordering them online. Michael Chesney says, that charging question is strange. They will heat up in a charger, but after the charge cycle is over, they should return to ambient. Might be time to buy another charger. That's kind of what I was thinking, because I was hoping some other people would weigh in and be like, oh, yeah, mine does that or something, because I've never seen that. We're talking about the Harbor Freight chargers heating up.
Oh, right. From before, the question from before. Did you read that super chat while I was gone?
What super chat?
It's like just above.
Yes.
Okay.
Without you. Because you weren't here. Bear One says, how you bears been doing? It's been a hot minute, ain't it? Knock on wood. If you don't have wood nearby, knock on your skull. It works wonders. Probably does. Eric says he had the Pfizer vaccine and no reaction from him. Maureen says, I finally got my paws on the full Metabo box pack-out system. Just did a review on it. I like that it's compatible with competitors like Festool and Makita. That is cool. So it's the Sustainer system that I think a third party makes for all of them. I have to be honest, when I first saw Sustainers, they looked really fragile, like that kind of hard, brittle kind of plastic. And I've mucked around with them, and they hold up pretty well. I'm really surprised. Honestly, you get they're large for their size containers. You get a lot of usable space in them. I like them. The deleted user says that happens at the end of the day when I change my batteries. I'm using Bauer 5 amp on a rapid charger. It gets very hot and smells like it's burning. I would get a new charger. That doesn't sound right. Make sure you're not plugged into an extension cord or something also. Or maybe check the port that you're plugged into, the outlet. The Z says $2. Yeah, this Jeff guy sounds like a tool bear. At least it sound like a tool.
That's my line. Thunder Puppy 11 said, I had the Pfizer vac, was sick for 2 days. Second day was worse than the first. Are you okay over there?
Thunder Puppy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I love that. I love good creative usernames. I like that name, Thunder Puppy.
Can anyone remind me what I was supposed to be writing down? I had like a brilliant thought.
Does he have a teammate, Lightning Dog?
I don't know.
And Thunder Puppy.
Do you? But what they were saying, and actually I feel like I've heard that from other people. I will be honest, I have a hard time like keeping the vaccines, like which ones, whatever, other than Johnson & Johnson sounded like a hot mess sandwich. But was basically saying like the second day is worse than the first. I've also heard from a number of people that the second vaccine, like the one, You
It was
have
worse than the first?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Greg says I had both Moderna and I didn't have any reaction except a really sore arm. Fred says, can you believe at one time there was over 2,000 Sears stores, now probably 0. On YouTube, search bear in YouTube encounters. That sounds dangerous.
Are we talking about the lady that almost got eaten at the park this week?
Oh. Groove just said, get a UK car, TVR, proper old school. I love the TVRs. In fact, there was a TVR at the place when we were picking this up. When we went there to pick this up, I had to walk around a green TVR, and I was like, I made the comment. In fact, and there was a Jensen Interceptor. That's something you don't see very often. I love the glass.
One that I liked.
The TR6 Triumph.
Triumph, that's what it was. I'm like,
It
it's
was
a
Triumph.
cha-cha-cha-cha.
Triumph TR6. A lot of great cars there. So my biological father, which not a great person that he was, did teach me a lot about cars and taught me a lot about older 60s and 70s European cars, and that's where my love for older European cars comes from. I don't get me wrong, but then like when living here in the States, I grew up around a lot of people with classic muscle, so I like classic muscle. I like older European cars. My son is really into like the exotics and the tuner scene, so I'm trying to be a good dad. I'm trying to I'm trying to get involved in that. I'm like, oh, look, a GTR. Yay.
Jerry Davis with the $5 super chat. Hi, I've only discovered your channel within the last 6 months. Very informative and
Funny. He meant
funny. Thank you. I was like, he's calling you honey. So I'm super glad. Yes, I'll be leaving later this week. So, anyways, thank you so much for the super chat. And I like your icon. I feel like my glasses are like not working. Perhaps it's my eyeballs that are
Maybe
working.
you're having a reaction to the vaccine.
I'm having a reaction to you having had the vaccine.
She didn't have it. So. Guys like to collect things. One is never enough. Michael says, thank you very much. This is why I need larger property, so I can park my vehicles, my fleet.
I'm all for larger property.
Grant says, what's the best oscillating multi-tool you think? My favorite, and this is funny because I'm not a fan of most of Stanley Black & Decker tools. I'm not a fan of DeWalt, but mainly because the lower tier tools in DeWalt are junk. The XR line is good. Their batteries are very expensive for what you get with them, but the XR multi-tool I think is one of the best multi-tools out there. Other than that, I'm pretty much, I'm not a huge snob when it comes to multi-tools. I've used fine multi-tools. I was not blown away by them. I have not tried the Flex one yet. I'm hoping to see the dampening tech that they have in that. If it's anywhere as good as what they've got in the Recip, that will probably be my go-to. But I'll be honest, when it comes to multi-tools, if it's cordless, I want it to be in the 12-volt line because often you're getting in small areas with it, and getting a 24 volt is just going to give you a huge battery. Homily says, hey, Homily, haven't seen you in a while. Says, I had both rounds of the Moderna, thanks Dolly Parton, and all I had was a sore arm the next day. Wife just took her second and fared a little worse. I'm sorry for her. Bear One says, personally for me, the vaccine, the last quick push out vaccine I took nearly killed me, swine flu. I'm not going to take it until long-term has been tested. I wanted to, but with me going to all these expos and stuff this year, I needed to do it. You were going to say?
I decided not to say.
Wow.
I misread one of the statements, and it was hilarious, but it was okay. All
right, let's see. I know we're getting a little behind. Let me catch up real quick. Okie dokie Speed says, any leads on the new Hercules 20-volt tool release dates? The circ saw, the brushless circ saw, they just announced the release on that. Isn't XR more powerful? It's brushless. So in some instances, brushless does get you more power. Really what it does is it gets you more speed. Brush technically has more torque, but speed can sometimes overcome a lack of torque. With which gives you longer battery life on stuff like sanders and multi-tools and circ saws, things that run for long. Like on a drill, the runtime on a drill is like zzz, zzz, and you're done, and then you move on to the next piece. On a multi-tool or a circ saw, you have much longer runtime, so brushless is far more important on those. Fred says, I'm the guy who buy new. I don't want someone else's headache. I've only bought one used car. Thanks for the Jackson rating. I've bought new cars in the past. And that's actually, I think I've bought one brand new car. No, maybe two. Usually I'll buy like, the demo that they use that's got 1,000 miles on it or something. I always want to get that first initial, devaluation. Just always try to avoid that. And I've had pretty good luck. Let's see here. Did you hear about the DeWalt FlexVolt 15 amp hour? I did. The thing is huge. It's huge, but it's coming out with the new rotary hammers. Alfonso, which is cool because they're really taking a swing at Hilti with that kind of stuff, and Makita a little bit, but yeah, Hilti definitely. Alfonso says, I'm looking to buy a 29 or 30 gallon compressor so that I can use 120 volt on. What do you recommend? Nothing. I don't know of a 30 gallon compressor that is, like you can put any size tank you want on something, but if the motor isn't paired proportional to the tank, it doesn't matter. And for it really to be valuable on a 30 gallon, you're going to need something running 220. There's people out here that are more electrical engineers than me, but correct me if I'm wrong. Dave says, hey Bear, Mrs. Bear, looking to get an oscillating tool, looking at the Hercules corded $100 or the DeWalt cordless for the same price, aside from the power source, best value in your opinion. I have the Hercules corded. It's a nice one. I like the tool release, everything on it. If you already have DeWalt batteries, get the DeWalt. That is not a question. You don't even think about it. Just go do it. Do it right now. You can leave. You're dismissed. Asylum says, hello, Bear family. I get $1 an hour raise at my new job now that I'm off my 90-day probation.
Awesome.
Nice. Good job. Congratulations. Levick says, email sent. Awesome. I will take a look at that after the show. We will try to make that happen. I was actually thinking of a portable 12,000 watt generator. Got me, man. That is above my pay grade. Rick says, hey guys, always wondering, why do you go back and forth between Montana and Las Vegas? How do the kids deal with school? Well, we've got 3 kids, one of which we share with my ex-wife, whom you just saw on the leaving here. And our 2 kids are homeschooled. So for them, school's wherever you sit down. Yep. And for the last year, Duncan was homeschooled as well. Now, going forward, he's going to be back in school here in Vegas because he did not take to homeschooling well. The other 2 kids, for them, they get it. It's not a problem. On top of it, it's also it's easier because my ex-wife works, so she's not always able to just stay home and always address the homeschooling thing, whereas she's a stay-at-home mom, and then I work from home, so there's one of us always here, so I set up their desks right near me, and I keep an eye on them, or she can work with them. So that's how we deal with the back and forth. Now, so Duncan's going to be staying down here, which means we are going to be adjusting our schedule because we try to make sure that we're here at minimum, that he's in our life, a minimum 6 months out of every year, if not more. I try for 9. I would do more if possible.
Well, and I think this year it's going to be different than it has been because up until this time, it has been all the time. Mm-hmm. So we are, this year's going to be slightly different, but we are making it work. They're getting older. Yeah.
We adapt. As to why we go back and forth, first of all, Vegas in the summer sucks. Montana in the winter sucks.
Breaking news, it's very hot here.
We own a house there, and they're here. We rent the house here, so it's because we can, basically, is what it comes down to. And we can do this because we've been smart with our investing. We don't buy new cars. We don't throw money away on stuff for no reason. I'm not some 20-year-old kid. I've been, doing work and, since I was a teenager, and, we've been smart with our money. So it's and a lot of luck and a lot of blessings has made us able to do it.
There was a super chat. I don't want it to get lost. Benjamin Hardigan, $5 super chat, says, are any tool dealers better than Dyson for cordless vacuums?
Deals, I think they mean.
Yes, that would make more sense.
For cordless vacuums, that's a good question. We did follow vacuums for a long time, and Dyson vacuums. She likes the Dyson. We would buy them factory refurbished. Dyson was great at innovating and has been great at innovating, but often you're paying a premium for that, and then other companies will be like, "Hey, that's a great idea. We're going to go at it from a different angle. We can do it for less, and often we can do it better because you're the second mover in that instance. They see what went wrong with the first one and they innovate around it. The TTI, which happens to own Hoover, which means that you see with the Ryobi and with Hoover and with the new Hart vacuums, you're seeing a lot of tech that is very similar to what Dyson did, but I think even a smarter, more homeowner oriented. Dyson likes to be really, cutting edge and, very avant-garde in a way with what they do. And I think the Ryobi and the Hart stuff is more like, okay, people need to vacuum their house. Let's make this as efficient as possible and do it at a cost-effective way. So those are the two that I would look at, and we've got Ryobi days coming up. So definitely check that out. Harbor Freight selling dental tools under the name of Dr. Payne, pliers, saws, and x-ray borescopes. Well, they sell picks. I know they sell the dental picks. Mark says,
We're really into those.
I wish Tecton comes out with slim profile wrenches. A lot of people have been asking them to do that, and I think they might. Dean says, yes, Mrs. Bear, are those training modules? Those are training modules, but we run out of those for big classes, and we use old dead defibs when needed. Fred says, go to Henderson and stay at Sam's. Great place to stay. It is a nice place down there, actually. It really is. We've been trying to, the new Virgin Hotel opened, and we were talking about doing a date night here for me and the missus and going over to the Virgin and checking that out. We got to see if we can squeeze in before she leaves. Steven says, some say, insert couple of facts, all we know is he's called the Stig.
That's right, Steven. That's right.
R4 Oodle says, hey y'all. Gary says, giving bears and all others running late, spraying the yard for ticks and them damn mosquitoes. Winter is over. Whew. That's one thing I'm not looking forward to in Montana. The low-flying large planes, a.k.a. mosquitoes. Trillion for Dollars says, howdy bear family. Wohawk. Hey, Wohawk says, when in Vegas, obnoxious lights are a must.
That's
true.
Absolutely accurate.
Ryan says, is there an update on the saw stop patent? I have not heard, but I'm trying to follow it, trying to stay up on it. I'll let you know if we hear anything new about it. Grant says, what was Skill originally known for? Skill saws, I believe. I mean, that's the one that everyone's like, the Xerox, the Kleenex, the Skill saw. It's the circular saw.
Top of the hour.
Top of the hour to you. Top of the hour means it's time for you, yes, you, to adopt your very own mod. We ask that what you do is you go over and you select any of the people in the comments list there who has the cobalt blue wrench next to their name. Those are our mods, and many of their mods are creators like us with their own great content and stuff. In fact, if you are a mod, now's a great time to put a comment or link in the channel, because sometimes it can be kind of hard to find some of the channels. And what we ask is, we like to uplift the whole community. We like to support smaller creators, in fact, all other creators if we can. And this is a great time for you to say thank you to the moderators who sit there, help keep the chat family friendly. They help answer questions that we can't get to, post links and all sorts of other stuff. And so go over to just pick one at random or based on whatever criteria you like, and go over to their channel and, watch a video and ring the bell and, do all the good stuff. Give them a thumbs up, all that YouTube stuff, and help support the community as a whole. And also a huge thank you to everyone who supported us with the super chats tonight. You all have been fantastic. Thank you so much. It's amazing the support you guys give us and gals. And then also huge thank you to the The members, that's everyone with the little bear behind their name, Princess Jamie, Dewey Nassar, Paul St. Marie, and so many others. You all are fantastic in supporting, in your monthly support here for the channel. It's kind of like Patreon, but built into YouTube, so you don't have to deal with Patreon. If you want information on that, there's information in the video description down below. Did I miss anything?
No.
Awesome. Moving on. Michael's...
Oh, I read that one. Can you fix that? Thank you.
Anything else you want to interrupt me about? You sure you're done?
No.
We're done?
Absolutely not.
Michael says, going to tour the Black Helicopter paint shop. Eric says, happy Sunday, guys. Love your channel. Michael says, know of any good stores or sites to find refurbished scratch and dent tools? I know Direct Tools for Abbey and Rigid, Big Sky Tools from Taba HPT, CPO has them. Amazon has a refurbished program, so tools can show up there. eBay has refurbished tools as well, get sold. A lot of companies sell their refurbished stuff through eBay, believe it or not. Just make sure who the seller is when you're buying. Antonio says Makita's more expensive than Milwaukee. Jeff says Grace is 9, but she thinks she's an adult, and she says thank you. All of our children are fairly certain they think that they're adults, or at least older teenagers.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you, Grace. We appreciate you watching along with your dad there. Christopher says, I'm pretty much devoted to the DeWalt XR line, but I was thinking about getting the 60-volt DeWalt circular saw with the flex-volt battery. Can you explain the 20-volt XR versus the 60-volt? The 60-volt, that's a whole long... I did a whole video on this. If you go and look, the DeWalt line explained, I did all that because there's a lot of technical stuff and it's too long to get into. But basically, you can run the flex volts on 20 volt, and what they do is they change the way the cells get lined up to change the bank in it to convert it from either, think of it as being like low and long versus short and high is basically what they do. That's how they get the 60 volts out of it. Dewey says maybe the bear fell down. James says, I was given a DWS 779 for Father's Day, and it's a beast. That's awesome. It's a good saw. It's a really good saw. Paul St. Marie says, greetings, Bear Clan. Hey, Paul. Wohawk says, Jessie doesn't need to know where things are. She is smarter than us. A phone to navigate for her. Yes, she does. If she didn't have a phone, I would never see her again.
That's true.
Michael says, you mean we don't fill them to the top? Always fill it to the top. I don't know what I'm talking. Dean says that was awesome of Branda Herrera and others to do that for Kentucky Ballistics. It was. I was really proud of the community for stepping up and doing that.
Yeah.
Grant says, what is with everywhere I look on YouTube, people are using Milwaukee tools. This is kind of funny. And, well, here's the deal. Here's what I'm going to say. I've had Milwaukee a number of times reach out to me and say that they wanted to send me tools. And then when they realized who I really was, they never called me again. And when this first started happening, there was this whole thing. I'm like, okay, and we always tell people that, the tools are sent to us. And that's the first time I never heard back from them. And if you notice, a lot of the channels who use Milwaukee tools don't often... and you can always tell when they get the new tools, because the tool just came out, and then all of a sudden there's 20 videos the very day that tool got released. Mm-hmm. And you can tell these videos were shot in the past week or 2 weeks or something. And I hate to say it, but it really feels like Milwaukee avoids the image of we support YouTubers. They want it to appear more organic than it is, and they won't work with anybody who is like, by the way, Milwaukee sent me this, full disclosure, put it down in the comments. Stuff like, if somebody sends me a tool, I say it in the video up front, I put it down in the comments, like, so-and-so, thank you for sending us this tool. We're very clear about it. And then here's the other thing. I've noticed a lot of polls recently that talk about what's the best tool. And by far, Milwaukee wins 2 to 3 times higher votes than anybody else. If that were the case, then explain to me why DeWalt outsells Milwaukee 2 to 1. Milwaukee sales are not near DeWalt. It might even be higher than that. They're on par with Bosch and Makita. And yet, everyone on YouTube swears that Milwaukee is everything. I'm not trying to take anything away from Milwaukee, but there's a bias here. Like I don't know, maybe the DeWalt users are just out busy working and not hanging out on YouTube. I don't know. But the online community clearly has a bias towards Milwaukee. I think they're great tools. I don't like the cheaper stuff from DeWalt. I'm very negative about DeWalt on a lot of instances. But the XR tools and above, I think, are great tools. Anyway, I won't harp on this anymore. Lucas says it's Lucas Zelenak.
Where are you reading?
Right here. Where's the K come from? How did he get a K in there? A.K.A. Chewy. I can't figure out how to change it on YouTube.
So
LOL.
yeah.
LOL. By the way, would you review the rigid subcompact line? That's a hard one for me because I'm having issues with rigid. I like all the other TTI stuff. Rigid isn't standing behind their power tool, their lifetime service agreement the way they should, which is part of the reason why I sold my rigid tools and why you never see us review them. They're good tools. They really are. They need to do better as a company. Is this Emmer Arbuckle? Is there any word if Milwaukee is having an NPS or pipeline event? People are kind of... No, I know there's been a discussion people have been talking about. We have not heard an official word on that. Michael says, Laser just picked up some low-power emitters of the type used to pointers. Bunch of little projects in mind. They run on 5 volt and make a focus-able dot on the wall. I wonder if you could get like 100 of those and do one of those Archimedes kind of things where they're all pointing at a single point. Mater says, I noticed on the Harbor Freight website the U.S. General Toolboxes coming in September has an emblem on it that says Series 2. Is that going to be an upgrade that they have now? I thought they always said Series 2 on some of... No, I guess they didn't say Series... I could have sworn I saw Series 2 on some. I don't know, is the answer there. R4 Oodles from Mississippi. Oh, there we go. Deep down south. Didiz says, scored the best Craigslist find. Got a new in-the-box Woodpecker Super Router Fence for $175. Holy cow. A box from Woodpeckers is probably that much. Amer says, do you have any experience with the Einhill line of tools? I don't. I know that's an Amazon line that's been selling a bunch. I've not played around with them. Kevin says, it sucks there's no Menards by you. I'd rather go there than Home Depot or Lowe's. You and me both, to be honest, because there's lots of other cool stuff to get there, but there isn't one anywhere near us.
Yes.
I thought you were going to come in. Andrew says he still uses Montgomery Ward's jigsaw from the 60s.
That's what I was looking at when you looked
I
at
bet.
me.
There's some great old jigsaws out there if you can find them. Fred says, I saw on YouTube a S&W on the range, a student plinking a 9mm compact. She blanks the first round, and in the magazine out the bottom, it blows the slide out. She only got cut, I'm guessing. Now, here's what I've seen. So, if a lot of you don't know that I was an instructor in California for 2 counties.
Say what?
I know, right? And for the
100 years.
CCW. I'm trying to avoid the words for the great algorithm in the sky. You know, don't look up. He can see you. And I'll tell you what, I trained a lot of new people. A lot of people new to the sport, if you would, never having owned before, but decided that they needed personal protection. And the number one problem we had was with those. That particular, the shield. And I'll tell you what, half the time when I found out what the problem was, they had either a 40 or a 9, and they had the wrong cartridge for it. And one of them was almost really bad. So, that could be an issue. Steven says, I think Elle has a 4-year-old that wants to be her friend. Aww.
Aw, hey, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky. And Salem says, I love the fake narwhal tooth on the Mrs. Bear's head.
That's right.
Narwhals swimming in the ocean, causing a commotion.
We're going to get sued.
Yep. Wohawk says, Jesse, slow down on that Mai Tai you're drinking. I know, it looks like something fun, doesn't it? Aaron says, I like your 3D printer video. One of the best things I've done with mine is pegboard stuff for all my tools. That's awesome. Even designed some stuff on my own.
Ooh,
That's
I would
great.
love to see that.
Emmer says, had the Pfizer with no issues. Michael says, purchased Avanti airless sprayer. Fantastic machine. Took longer to flush and clean. LO, best part, cuts painting time. Beats brush and a roller. Oh my gosh, it does. So much faster. If you've ever painted with an airless system and tried to go back to a brush and a roller, you're like, nope. Get the masking done good, cover everything off, and just hit it. Andrew said, did you see Porter Cable making a new 2.25 horsepower router? It's difficult to get parts for these routers. What 3 tools should Porter come out with? Porter Cable should just give up and sell the brand to somebody else so they can do it right. That's what I feel about Porter Cable. I'm just so done with them at this point. And their Instagram posting 2, 3, 4-year-old pictures of tools like, hey, great tools. I'm like, you have abandoned these people, and now you've started up your Instagram account again and your Facebook page posting like, hey, nothing's changed. Sure, we went dark for over 2 years, and we haven't come out with a new tool in longer than that, but hey.
You're not supposed to notice that.
Yeah. Bart says, shattered the top of the Sustainer last week when it tipped over with my track saw in it.
Oh.
Seems to be much more brittle after a few years. Plastic can do that if you're not... Yeah, it can do that.
If it's plastic.
Yeah. Let's see here. Princess Jamie says, had COVID and the second vaccine put me out for the count for a few days. I guess there's just no rhyme or reason. And the other thing was, I didn't eat... Well, I did scarf food right before we went in. So, because I was starving. Elf Pimp says, hey, Bear, did you see the new generator welder coming at Harbor Freight? I did a video on it.
So that'd be yes.
Yes. Deleted User says, thanks for the advice. I'll keep that in mind. You Yeet says, what's the best price you've seen on a DeWalt XR jigsaw? Would you recommend it? I'm thinking about getting one. I found it new for $160. Man, I don't remember. I'm sorry, but I keep spreadsheets and stuff for that sort of thing. I don't remember a lot of that stuff off the top of my head. Craig says, had Pfizer was... Wait, jumped
really
on me.
punk.
Where'd it go? It's right here somewhere. Had Pfizer was really punk, starting about 12 hours after getting the second shot, lasted about 24. Whew. Donna Ross says, freedom! AKA, I'm done with work. That's awesome. Finally, getting off work. Jake says, they call it a triumph because when you work on it and actually fixed, it's a triumph. Pete says, you think the AWFS was one of the largest woodworking shows in the country? It's going to happen this year in Vegas in July. We were just looking at that. I wasn't sure if I was going to go. I'll have to see.
It's
Flights
just
as cheap as they are. Maybe I'll just fly down for the show and fly back.
That's just so you can talk to your car.
It is.
Drive it around.
Spade says, hey guys, God bless. Wanted to come and tell you a short story. A man passed me in my congregation who randomly left me over $20,000 in woodworking and metalworking. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
In metalworking and machinery. Wow. I'm sorry to see him go. Hopefully you will enjoy what he left behind.
That's amazing.
Mike says, do you know anything about rigid 10-inch professional cast iron table saw $749 at Home Depot? I know that it's really expensive and that I'd rather get the Delta. But finding the Delta recently has been next to impossible. If you can find the rigid, I mean, other than that, honestly, at $749, you're getting up there in price at that point. I'm starting to look at the Grizzly. I'm starting to look at maybe a used Laguna or a Grizzly or even a Delta Unisaw at that point. Jake says they call it Saab because it makes you sob when you work on it. I had a Saab. I had a 900S 2-door. Loved that car. Double wishbone suspension. It was moose-proof too, built-in roll cage. Daughter Ross says, got both doses. First dose was worse than the second for me. Spade Ace says, any insight into drum sanders that aren't $800+? Boy, that's good luck. I've been had a few friends, was trying to help them find some drum sanders, and pretty much what I found was Craigslist. You just haunt Craigslist for an older drum sander that's in decent shape, and that's your best bet, because they are wicked expensive. Marine X says ATV or decked out all-terrain golf cart. I would go the all-terrain golf cart. And we've been talking about this. I rented a Ranger, the big, like 6-seater Ranger. I've got friends who've got Can-Ams. I've gone out down here in the dunes with the Can-Ams, flying in the Can-Ams. I'm not a young guy, and I'm not looking for speed flying over sand dunes and stuff. It's fun for a little bit. It's kind of like jet skis for me. Jet skis are fun for like 5 or 10 minutes. After that, it's like, I'm done. I would rather have the ability to get where I need to go than worrying about how fast I get there and whether I'm going to eat a tree. So for me, I'm actually been looking for a good gas-powered used golf cart up in Montana that I could take and do the whole lift kit and the whole kind of thing. You do it as a project. Jake says, what gas pressure washer do you recommend, or what do you recommend not getting? Is Generac worth the extra money? Generac has made great products for years.
Do you need ice?
No, I got a ton of ice. And some people say they're not as good as they used to be. That can be said about a lot of people. I don't use a lot of gas-powered outdoor power equipment because I don't need it. All right, I'm not sitting there etching, layers of stuff off of anything. I have the whatchamacallit. I have a small gas-powered one. I'm more than happy using the electric for washing the car, cleaning the house, cleaning off the sidewalk and whatnot, getting rid of mold and or moss or whatever. It does a great job. I don't need a gas-powered one for any of that stuff. If somebody wants to chime in with what they feel is a good gas-powered model, that's great. But I've given up on gas outdoor power equipment years ago. Sorry. Let's see here. Philly says, how would you compare the DeWalt XR to the M18 multi-fuel tool? I would sit them next to each other, and then I would sit back and go, No, I kid. I have the M12, and it's like butter. Here the M18 is similar, though. I have the M12 multi-tool, not the fuel, just the basic one. And I like it because it's small, and it does what I need it to do.
I am not, and I don't.
As far as like, if you're talking about doing a video comparison, I think what you'd have to do is do some pictures side by side so people can get a comparison of the size. Then maybe compare them like what kind of small spaces you can fit them into. I'd also looking for a way to do a vibration test, which, by the way, Philly Fixed and I have been talking about this, about a way to do a good vibration test. And I was talking about like filling up a cup of water all the way to the top and attaching it to the end of the tool and see how much the water shakes out and stuff like that. But actually, I found an actual tool for sensing vibration off of Amazon you can buy, and it's like $120. And I haven't told the missus, but I'm probably going to buy that here and just use that for the vibration testing. I realize it's not as visceral. You don't get the dramatics from it, but we're going to get a more accurate, repeatable test from that. And that's what's really important, because we're all about the data. And the other thing is then, using the same style blades, test different cuts through wood, cuts through metal, cuts through nails. The kind of stuff that people are going to, cutting through drywall, anything will cut through drywall. You give drywall a bad look and it'll fall apart. So
Terry Bauman, I don't know if you later did at the Den of Tools, but says, big fan of the channel. What are your thoughts on the Central Machinery? Did you read that?
8-inch 5-speed drill press. When it's on sale, like when it's around that $50 to $60 range, dude, it's fantastic. You have to set it up correctly. You have to get it home. You have to get it set up properly. You have to square the table, square the head. You got to align the bolt for the quill in there, because that's what gets rid of all that slop in there. But if you do it too tight, then it doesn't move. So there's a happy median in there. Remember, it's a woodworking tool. It's not a precision metal smithing tool, but you can drill metal if you go slow and you take your time, use good bits. It's like I always say with cars. You can take the best car in the world, and if you put cheap tires on it, it will perform worse than the worst car in the world with good tires on it. It's where the tool meets the material, whatever that is, whether it's a saw blade or a drill bit or a tire. If you cheap out there, that's where you're going to see the real difference. So I've used a bunch of those things. I've got some higher end ones. I have the 17-inch one. I got all that. But for small stuff, it's great to have two drill presses. I have the 17-inch and the 8-inch around the shop, and I use them both. Often, I'll be honest, I don't leave it attached to that regular base. I take it off that base, build a cart for it, and attach it to that. All right.
You're more than half an hour behind.
That's because you keep interrupting.
With magical, important information.
Yep, you do that. And that's
That
what
just
happens. Dewey says, I've seen you using the Diablo blades on your tools. Are they long-lasting blades? I pretty much default to the Diablo stuff on a lot of things. On the sandpaper, on the blades. But I'll be honest, what I found is, at least for table saw blades, and circular saw blades, is that the Irwin Marples blades, the Diablo, and the Hercules blades are all pretty much in the same kind of category as far as performance. Recip blades, I've pretty much defaulted to the Diablo, although I do have a handful of other ones I've been picking up, carbide tipped ones. We're going to be testing those. Let's see here, what else? And if you don't, that's the thing, like if you saw me cutting that rail, I was moving really fast through that, trying to be as aggressive as possible. That's why I had it on the aggressive cut with the orbital. You're not supposed to do any of that stuff. You're supposed to be nice linear cut, low and moving low and slow, if you would, on that. That makes the blade last longer. And I was purposely trying not to do the opposite, to work the tool as hard as possible, and the blade paid the price. But other than that, yes, I would say they're long-lasting blades. Levick says, I've owned 16 cars, 4 bikes in my 40 years. More cars, the better. Good problem to have. I have that problem. See you at the car meet. I'll be the guy in the silver 66 Mustang Fastback. Oh, I love the Fastbacks.
That's going to be cool.
Although, I'll be honest, the Mach 1 is what I really want to get. I had a buddy in high school who had one of those. I love that car. Bear says, what would you recommend for a shop vac type vacuum? I'm looking for capacity and longevity for price. Bauer right now is their fantastic performance. And everyone who's tried one has been surprised by it. I mean, DeWalt makes a great one, don't get me wrong, but as far as price, I'd get the Bauer. Seth says, what advantage over the ITC at Harbor Freight over the sales, all the other stores where I don't need to be a member and I get 10% veterans discount on top of it, blah, blah, blah. It depends on what you're shopping for, man. I mean, if you're at Harbor Freight all the time anyway, I get the Inside Track Club. When you break it down, per month, it comes out to like less than $2 a month or something like that. As long as I'm saving that, and I usually am, I like going to Harbor Freight over, like, if I could run into a Harbor Freight rather than running into a Lowe's or a Home Depot, I will. Same goes for Ace if I can get the right kind of pricing on it, because I would much rather run in there, get what I need, and leave. I don't like having to walk in, walk all the way down, walk down to the tool department, fight around with everyone else that's in there, wait for one of the lanes to get open to check out. And these days they have like one checkout lane, and half of the self-checkout stuff isn't working for some reason. I don't like going in the big stores because I'm going in for a specific thing. I know what I want. I don't need somebody going, hey, can we help you? Because I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I'll help you get lost. All right.
They will. That's excellent. Should be perfect.
Anyway. The Fred says, here in Colorado, we had 2 separate black bear attacks and killed 2 women. 2 black bears they caught were the ones that killed the women in bear country. I'm going to be armed. You should be armed in bear country. It's just ridiculous not to be. And on top of that, especially if you're near black bear country, because black bears are more aggressive. It's that small dog syndrome. You're the size of a black bear. He's intimidated, so he has to fight for him. Brown bears are like, yeah, I could eat you if I didn't want, but I'm not worried about you. So they're not going to get involved. Brown bears are less aggressive, typically speaking. That more people survive a brown bear attack than they survive a black bear attack. Charlton says, is Harbor Freight done with Chicago brand of tools? I'm not sure. They definitely still have a good selection of them out there. Will they eventually phase them out? Maybe. I don't know. PT says 344 watching, only 135 likes. What? Oh, what?
I forgot to like.
Don't you know that likes today are free? And if you do, get likes. It's a 100% possibly you won't get maybe schmaybe COVID. It's true.
Right.
Some people say.
I read it on the
Some
internet.
Some people say. Let's see here. I know I got to catch up because I'm way behind. All right, where was I there? Oh, you stop it. Dun, 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 dun.
No one's talking to us.
No one's talking to me. Russell says, Dented Tools. Hey, Russell.
Hey.
GTB says, thanks for the tip on the Fortress compressor. It's so great. What's your take on the Banks pin nailer? They're decent. They're really decent. I mean, if you're not using it every single day and it's kind of a hobby kind of thing, sure, go for it. Does Jeff have a unicorn hairband? No, my head is too pointy for one of those kind of hairbands. They just kind of fall off.
I was thinking it might be good when you go to the conventions because like people can find you.
I'm
I will
6
say
foot
that
two.
This one is like super tiny, and I'm pretty sure that I'm gonna have a migraine. I don't know if you know this, but this is actually marketed for children, and my head's larger than a child's head.
Anyway,
I'm gonna be finding some headgear for you. Yeah.
Russell says, hit enter early. What are your thoughts on the new Craftsman Pro System Tower? Heard anything about it? I have not heard anything about it. Or wait, or did I hear something about it? I don't remember if I heard something about it. It's like I remember hearing
shot.
something, but I don't remember what it is. So there you go. Throttle Power says, I'm happy with my DeWalt tools. They have served me well. That's awesome. I mean, if the tool's working for you, you know, as we often said, my family had a Ford Pinto, and it ran like a top, never had a problem, never exploded.
Hey, Mad Bad Bear. He said, hey.
Oh, hey! Where is he?
He's right there.
There he is.
He just hopped on.
Hey, Bear. Michael says, hard to make a death ray out of low-power lasers. There's the classic instructions. Do not look into laser with remaining eye.
With remaining eye. Okay.
DJ Pug is requesting to be held. We'll be working one-handed. Michael, family-friendly channel. Jennifer White Wolf laughing herself to death there with over the remaining eye. Hey, Jennifer, by the way. And Philly Fix says rigid recon tools from DTO aren't LSA edgeable. Weak saws.
Yeah.
Oh, that's... Yeah, I think I knew that, though. Snowman says, looking to get Earthquake Power Ratchet. Will go on sale soon? I have one. It did go on sale when I got it. Well, actually, no, I take it back. I think it was an open box. The Harbor Freight's not really great at, like, closeout deals. They just basically leave it there until they sell the last one, and they're like, it can hang out here for years at some stores. Eventually, a store manager will get tired of having it on the books, and they'll discount it enough, it'll go away. Fred says, Bear, what's your opinion? I store my cartridges in my garage. Wintertime is in the mid-high 30s and highs in the 90s. Is that okay, or should I move it to the basement? You probably should. Well, they should be stored in waterproof or airproof containers, like boxes with a seal, that kind of stuff. That's the first thing you want to make sure. So the humidity and that kind of stuff, you can't get to them. Temperature, you probably do want to avoid temperature swings. I'm a terrible example because ours is in an area of the house that's in the mudroom, which is not heated, and they probably froze solid. So didn't even think about it. Or did we bring them inside? No, we brought the batteries. We brought the batteries inside. I think all the other stuff is still out there.
I'll be able to tell you later this week.
Oh, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Is Festool worth all the hype? Ask This Old House uses them a lot. Is Festool worth the hype? If you are a professional woodworker or you've got money to burn, then yeah, the Festools are fantastic tools. But you can get the same work done with cheaper tools. You may have to do more vacuuming. It may not feel... It's like the BMW. Are there other cars out there that will drive as fast? Are there other cars that will drive as far? Sure, but will they feel as good while you do it? Probably not.
Pretty sure I'm going to kick you here in a hot second.
Why?
Because I'm clumsy.
Nice.
Yep.
Llama Llama says, my wife and I appreciate you both. Our Sunday evening used to be quiet, and your show is entertaining. Thank you. That's awesome. And it means a lot to us coming from a llama.
Thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Llama Llama.
We like llamas. So.
Yeah.
We're a
Super
pro-llama
into
household.
llamas. Yeah.
And alpacas.
I don't know. I think our children might be more into llamas.
Probably more into llamas. I'm an alpaca fan myself. Trent says the Chinese virus is no threat to 99.1+% of Americans. Diabetes, gallbladder removal, obesity, autoimmune deficiency, among other pre-existing conditions. Seth says, why doesn't Harbor Freight give military discounts? Because they're already discounted so much. They don't have that kind of profit margin that they can afford to do a bunch of other discounts like other companies do.
But I have heard that if you ask at your local Harbor Freight, that sometimes they do it.
Yeah, that's up to the store manager, and I don't like to push that. And but
I wasn't pushing it. Sorry.
But the other thing is they donate millions every year to first responders, to veterans programs and stuff like that. So they don't give the discount at the store. They support directly. Client Graphics, Chris is in the house.
99 cents.
99
super
cents
chat.
with the unicorn.
Oh, I didn't even see the unicorn. I'm telling you. I took Elle to have her eyes examined today, and ever since I left the eye doctor, I'm like, are you guys cursing me so that I'll come back and get my eyes checked? I love the unicorn.
Let's see here. Michael says, trees, a great source of fiber. Ask Sonny Bono. Too soon, man.
Boom, boom.
Too soon. You guys don't know, trees are America's silent killer. Ask the Kennedys. Hard to beat a 90s Bosch jigsaw. Wish I had one. And Fred says, did you see the 2021 Ford F-150, 250, 350, 450, 550 are being recalled for their windshields? What was it? Last year, the year before, they were catching on fire. Now it's the windshields. Wind's picking up here. We may have to close the door.
I think I just saw Auntie M fly by.
Cow. Same cow.
Same cow. Do you want to shut it?
Yeah, that's what we need is a tornado in Vegas. I think it's fine for now. Is the wind noise too much for you all? If it is, hit the thumbs up button. If it's not, also hit the thumbs up button. Effects with COVID from COVID is the key phrase, Trent says. But Fred asks, on the ammo rally, I'm trying to avoid that word. Here in northern Colorado, we're dry but high temp swings. Christopher says, what are your thoughts on drilling with an impact? Milwaukee has the hex shaft bits, but what are the main limits? It's always weird for me drilling with an impact. But I know there are bits out there that are designed for it. I don't know if I can ever get around it. It's just weird. Now, if you're drilling in, if I'm drilling into rock or concrete or something like that, I get it. I totally get it. But drilling into wood with an impact, I mean, why not just use a drill? Anyway, let's see here. Mike says, do you have any knowledge about the Ryobi 40-volt earth auger or cement mixer? I know that they exist. I have not used them.
Wow.
What?
I said, wow.
Oh.
Thinking about when I saw the cement truck fall over.
Fred says wife is fine, got the shot in March and April, so called today. She's positive, so both me and her are stuck in the house for 10 days. Ugh. Have you tried Extron tools made by Shervan? I have not. Are those the ones that they're not sold? They're sold mostly in Asia, aren't they? Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I've not tried those. Michael says the Mach 1s are nice looking until you have to put a set of speakers in the back. No way my fat butt will fit in the trunk anymore. Yeah, that would not be something I would be doing myself. Charles says, which 5 horsepower Cyclone dust collector would you get? 5 horsepower. I don't think I've looked at I'm not up to speed on the 5 horsepower Cyclone dust collectors. Most I've looked at are 2 horsepower, getting the Harbor Freights and then making your own Cyclone unit. So I'm sorry, Charles, I'm not up to speed on those. You should be armed with the ring notification around tool bears. The Mike C says, hello from Chi-Town.
Hey!
I've been wanting to go back to Chicago. I haven't been to Chicago in
You
a
cannot
long
even say
time. What do you mean? I can't
Nope.
say that. Why can't I say? I just said
Because
that.
I've been trying
I
to
haven't
go.
been to Chicago in a long time.
I've been
I just
trying
said
to
it.
go.
You've been trying to. How hard have you been trying?
We've been trying to go. I said we should
when?
totally go. And you said, no, it's like too far, blah, blah, blah.
No,
Whatever.
I said that we should go, and you were like, no, because then we'd have to go over to Western Michigan and see all those people that we know, and you didn't want to see
Oh
them.
my gosh. That is absolutely not what we said. You see that? That's his liar face. Oh, he might not be on tomorrow.
On-site electrician says, can you recommend an air hose retractable reel on a budget? Yes. Harbor Freight ones has some decent ones. Don't get the super cheap hoses. But if you get the mid-range ones like the Diablo and stuff, I mean, you can get the cheap ones. If that's what your budget is, that's what your budget is. You just missed out because Walmart just transitioned over to a new brand, and they had the Campbell Hausfeld, the cheap version of it, and there were some really cheap ones over there. You might check your local Walmart; they might still have some. I doubt it, but try to think what else. Woot. Follow Woot, because, man, like once a month on Woot in the tool section, they have retractable hose reels that are on sale. What?
John Gonzalez with the $2 super chat. Squirrel.
Where?
That's right.
Hate squirrels.
He is the squirrel.
But Mad Bay Bear loves squirrels.
Yep.
Tree rats, I don't know. Fred says, well, that's the answer to my question. I plan on moving all of my ammo to the basement. I wish I could move my safe down there, but it doesn't fit. Only place I can put it is in my garage. I can actually, for us, we're lucky because it's really easy for us to move our safe into the basement. All we have to do is put more stuff in it, and it will automatically go into the basement.
Back up.
That's a problem.
Problem.
We have really old wood floors in the house, so.
It's because we have a really old
house.
Princess Jamie says not feeling the best, headed out to bed.
I'm
Have a good
sorry.
night. I'm sorry
Hope
you're
you
not
feel
feeling
better.
good.
Have you used those neck lights? I love a headlamp, but I've not tried the neck. The neck lights look interesting. They really do. I have a thing with things around my neck. Like I'll never wear a necklace or stuff like that. So for me, I don't see me doing that. But I do. They do look interesting for some people, especially because they're flexible, so you can adjust where the light's going, that kind of thing.
Dewey with the $5 super chat. I am a retired staff sergeant from the Army, and I do enjoy the military discount, but I don't need it.
Well, thank you, for your service.
Thank you.
And even though it was Army, I mean, at least it wasn't Air Force, right?
You are going straight to the hot place. Dewey, thank you for your service.
I just
ignore my
tease
redonkulous husband.
We're a Marine family. My brother's a Marine. My grandfather was a Marine. Lots of Marines. My father, though, was Army. I was born on the U.S. Army Army base.
Brat.
I am
the
a
big part's the
I am a
brat.
legit Army brat. So, let's see here. Where was I going? The neck lights. Michael says tool bears tend to forget to attack if fed and liquored up.
That's true.
That made me just
story.
like, well, I could go and attack him, but
I have snacks here.
I have snacks and booze right here. Any word on the return of the Harbor Freight parking lot sale? I am not so sure the parking lot sale as we know it will ever return. Here's why. They've expanded big time. All right. Now, before, Harbor Freights were often in these dark corners of town and little mom and pop kind of strip malls and stuff, and they could get away with doing parking lot sales. Well, now they're in a lot more high visibility locations, and those parts of the cities have ordinances against them. In fact, not only that, the people they're renting from have rules against it. So I would say the majority of Harbor Freight locations now are currently in a place where they can't do a parking lot sale. So I think between that and COVID and everything else, they're transitioning to an in-the-store event. Like I went to the local Harbor Freight store, and it was like a parking lot sale. They had all the open box stuff. They had a bunch of factory returns and stuff. They had it was just all sitting up front, and you could chat the manager, maybe get a better deal and stuff. I think we're going to see more of that and less of and not the parking lot sales. Russell says, I'll tag you in the post on Facebook forum on the Craftsman Pro Tower system. They're going to try and compete with Packout in what looks to be a serious level. Why would they do that with Craftsman? Unless they're going to rebrand the DeWalt Tough Stack 2 system, which would be ridiculous. Let's see here. What's the warranty on the new Craftsman tools? I believe it's 3 years. Generalizing bear attacks. How much bear exposure have you had? Every North American big game guide disagrees with you. Just for your information, Trent, I've done a massive amount of reading on it. I've seen two grizzlies in the wild, one in Yellowstone, so that doesn't really count. 2 black bears, and I've read up a lot on the subject and a lot about survivals. So the big game guides can say what they want. I've read the actual reports themselves. I don't ever read what somebody summarizes, because people summarize. Everyone who summarizes something and writes an article on it seems to be coming from a certain standpoint of, we're trying to do this. I go straight to the data, and I can tell you that I've read pretty much everything published on those attacks, and not only that, I also read up as to what calibers were used in them, and that's a lot, because I had a 454 when we moved to Montana, and I ended up getting rid of it because it's big and slow. And the reality is that a good 9 with that at a certain point capacity outweighs power.
Futonu 2, thank you so much. He said the wind noise is fine.
Okay, thank you. Frank says, I missed the morning show. Go GameStop. The stock's been taking a big hit this past couple weeks. Man, just gut punched. Speaking of which, if you saw UFC this past weekend, wow, what a great fights this weekend. And the Preakness was something also, man.
Yep.
Who was it who won? It was
Rumbauer.
Rumbauer. Wow, just out of nowhere, just charging. Let's see here. Live weather makes it all the more real. There you go.
That's right.
Fred says, I couldn't believe this. A 3006 hitting a 24 by 24 target at 3,500 yards. I don't think. It has. There's range, and then there's accurate, and what they call what do they call it? There's a term for it. The range at which it's accurate, because any of those high power ones, you're looking at the right trajectory. You're looking at 7 miles. All right, it's ridiculous. So the effective range is definitely not 3,500 yards. That is. And that's a great cartridge. It really is. But nothing in that category is effective. That's the kind of thing where they've set it up and they've got, you couldn't just walk out and do that. Fry says, wow, I went to Menards to get 6 2x4s, 6 foot long, treated just over $70. Wanted to get a table saw, but now I can't afford the lumber. I know, right? We're in that same situation right now. $12 says, drill holes with a drill screws with an impact driver. It's kind of the way I feel about it. Where we go? Frank says, those Western Michigan people. I know, right? John says, hi from Palm Desert. I love Palm Desert. John says, look at Oneida for cyclone dust systems. That's a good idea. I didn't even think about that one. And where do we go here? Air Force is just like the Army, but for smart people. It is. It really is. Michael says, did I tell you how I managed to annoy some Air Force staffers in Baghdad? No, but I can only imagine. John Smith says, without thinking, best wrenches for part-time mechanics. Best wrenches for part-time mechanics is going to be Tecton. Is probably your best all around. If you're looking for value, not Cobalt. I mean, Cobalts are decent. They're not great though. I'm trying to think what's a great budget.
A number of people. It looks like Mark Olson was saying, I have gear wrench and I'm happy. 6-point, but Tecton looks really nice.
Well, I wasn't gonna say gear wrench, but then I think ratcheting wrench is what I think gear wrench for that. I mean, that's a whole nother bag of squirrels, as it were. The longest range shot by a sniper is Canadian male sniper hit over 2 miles. I think the longest female sniper is Air Force. Yep, I saw the whole thing on that shot the Canadians did. That was insane. Talking about never saw it coming. Christopher says, I know a drill can both drive in screws and drill holes, and the impact can do both as well, but which one would you carry if you could? Would you only carry, I'm leaning towards the impact. If I could only carry one, I would carry a drill. I wouldn't even think about it, because an impact is basically, I mean, some of them have some power settings, but it's on or off. A drill is a more analog device where you can do with it what you need to do with it. And if you want to go low and slow, it can go slow. If you want to go high, you can go high. I would all day long. I mean, I built houses with drills. They didn't have impacts really. When did impacts come out? I've been trying to figure that out. When impact drivers became a big thing, because when I was building houses, nobody had them. Robert says, late night, been tiling at daughter's house all weekend, only grout to do, and then put it on the market and get it sold. Well,
Awesome.
Congratulations, man. I know you put a lot of work into that place.
Please tell Mrs. Adams we send our hellos. I hope that she is either home with you or traveling safely.
Mike Adams says, hey, y'all, I know I'm late. That's all right. Just sneak on in. Trolling for dollars says, does your BMW have a trailer hitch for your future boat?
Trolling for dollars? Seriously? Why are you encouraging him?
No, but the Suburban does.
Stop encouraging him.
Although
I could just see
You
it
know
now.
what?
You're going to pull into the front of the house, and you're going to be like, hi, honey, I got something on the way home. It's going to be a boat.
I promised you, you made me swear that I would never buy a car without talking to you.
That's not a car, that's a boat.
I know. That's my point.
You got to really pay attention to the words.
I did.
So did I.
Michael says, was at Baghdad International Airport, and the Air Force PX there was 2 tiny trailers parked back to back. I called it the Air Force Gift Boutique. He got bent. Dude, I posted in the community section a guy who's a stand-up comedian. He's ex-Air Force. He was a lieutenant colonel, I think. Academy. Now doing stand-up. He still looks like he's in his 40s. He looks like he's 12.
Yeah.
Dude is
You're welcome.
Hilarious.
It's hilarious, and I'm not responsible if you wet your pants or spit soda on your
Oh,
face.
he's telling the one story about.
Don't tell it,
No,
don't
no,
watch
this
it.
one. He's landing in Baghdad, and they notice shots coming up at him. So he tries to remain calm. He's like, Baghdad Tower ground fire effective north of the field, and they're like, Roger that. Please stand by. He's like,
Hang on.
like I'm on hold with Sprint or something, and he comes back. He's like, oh, don't worry. They're having a wedding celebration over there. They're just firing up the air. They're not firing at you. He's like, oh, thank goodness. But I'm up in the air.
Yep.
Anyway, that one's funny. The next one, friggin' hilarious. You gotta go. You gotta watch it. All I gotta say is, living the dream. Because I know those guys, and they would totally be living the dream right there. Oh yeah. Let's see here. Menards is at a freeze on comping prices of competitors due to the rising replenishment prices. I'm not surprised about that. Prices on everything are about to go up. Like right now, they said it's gone up 4%. The government finally admitted prices have gone up about 4%. We're all like, 4%, more like 40.
You're almost caught up, and we're almost at top of the hour.
The Fred says, Bear is plus P and plus P plus. Shorten the firearm bearer's life. I'm glad I said the F word. Why did you make me say the F word? I'm glad I checked first. Thanks for telling us on the wrong blah, blah, blah. Also, people will leave in a clean... Not usually an issue when it comes to the shorter stuff. The longer stuff, I have seen that happen. And technically speaking, yes. Plus P and plus P plus will shorten it. Some items are labeled like that they're made for that as standard. Okay, some of them are like can be used occasionally. All right, I've had some of these cylinder styles that said specifically can use this for occasional use. Like don't run it all the time, but like basically like when you're at the place practicing, run the standard stuff. But for carry for CCW, run the plus P.
Michael Miller, $2 super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And the Wayne says, been binging on your videos over the past month. Love the historical perspective. Well researched as I explore your topics after each one I watch. Thank you so much. That's awesome. It was great. I had somebody reach out and said that they really appreciated the one I did on DeWitt, Nebraska. And I said, well, guys, support small town America. I used to live over in Fremont. And somebody else responded like, I'm watching your video from Fremont right now.
Yep.
Wow. It's just amazing. Let's see here. Dewey says, I have an old Craftsman jigsaw that I forgot outside in 2007, and it rained. The tote was in full of water. After it dried out, it still works to this day. As long as the water's clean and it doesn't corrode on the inside and you get it cleaned out and dry it off, there's really not much in those old tools that can get damaged by it. It's not like they've got circuit boards and all sorts of other stuff in here. Terry says, new to property management and flipping, would you have multiple VersaStacks for different jobs, plumbing, etc.? But can't carry all tools at once like VersaStack. Yes, I would totally do that. In fact, I would probably color code them just for that reason. Like, buy the DeWalt T-Stacks for like my main stuff, and like the VersaStacks for my plumbing. And what?
Bart, you're hilarious.
And I think they're great. I really do. I do not like the luggage cart style one, where like the one I have has the big base one and then it has the arm that comes up. I would get the one that looks more like an actual dolly kind of thing. It costs a bit more. It's VersaStack doesn't make it. DeWalt makes it, but they're compatible. The DeWalt and the VersaStack work together.
Dave Yen says, dude, I went to Irvington High School. Does that make sense to you?
No, when I lived is that in Fremont? Because I lived in Fremont until second grade, and then we moved to Iowa, and then we moved back. I actually went to Millard North, out in western Omaha. So,
Michael Miller.
Go on.
With the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
Thank you again for the $2 super chat.
Michael says, saw Robin Williams in Kuwait. That was a fun show. Man, I miss that guy. That's so sad. He was one of the funniest people ever born. Yeah. Frank says, my wife says I'm the cheapest person she knows, and I'm not buying it.
But I'm bummed. That's right.
Dewey says, I have an old Craftsman jigsaw that I forgot outside.
You already read that.
Oh, man.
It's Michael.
Do you mind?
I'm helping you.
You're helping something.
All the help you need.
You're helping something. It's 7:00. We got to wrap this up. Michael says, Iraqis celebrate every darn thing with AK fire. Seeing tracers over the base was not a unique experience. Having lived out in the country, that's not a unique experience to us either. Michael says, I just read that. Trent says, watch Billy Malls on YouTube. That will change your mind about bear attacks. Over 100 years guide experience between him and his peers. Their job is protecting clients. That's great, but that's a single perspective. And that's what you got to understand when you're reviewing data. You can't take, and Trent, you know this, you can't take that empirical evidence as a standalone. Like, well, this is what somebody says, so that's the way it is. And that's the thing is, like, if you talk to some doctors, I've studied this kind of stuff about how things get diagnosed. Because it's part of the business I was in. It was understanding and diagnosing and understanding the data. Is you have to understand that even if one person has 1,000 experiences, if you have one person that has just one experience, but you've got 1 million of them, you've got diversified data there that is weighs much stronger than one person with a lot of a single experience. Where we go here? Wohawk says, remember that vow for better or worse? Remember that when you buy a boat without approval, Jessie will make you feel the words. She will until I get her on the boat and then she's having fun. And then she'll be upset with me when she gets seasick and throws up.
That's because
'Cause
you'll have
she
to
gets
drug
seasick.
me to put my ass on that boat.
Thunder says, your beard reminds me of elves. Oh, I'm a jolly old elf, all right. Steven says, I'm constantly seeing rising prices at work. I'm having to put higher and higher price tags on things. Yeah, that's why I get people like, I'm so mad at Harbor Freight, they're raising prices. I'm like, clearly you don't shop anywhere else. Fred says, the top sniper of all times was from Finland. The Finnish don't mess with the Finns, man. During World War II, I believe he killed over 500 Nazis. Female sniper during World War II was Russian. Mike says, my dad had a little houseboat for a while. He named it The Hole in the water because he said it was something to throw money down. Oh, the boats are like that. My girlfriend, Bart says, my girlfriend didn't really like your show channel, but I'm single now.
I love it. I'm sorry about your girlfriend.
Sorry about your girlfriend. Let's see here. Vincent says, I got that Cobalt 40-volt lawnmower you featured a while back for $79. What do you think of it, man? I mean, for the price, wow, it's hard to argue with, right? Hornady is made in Grand Island, Nebraska. That's awesome. Grand Island's a cool city. Where did you learn to weld? Well, I really haven't yet. From friends who were welders who basically took pity on me and taught me a little bit here and there. I'm a terrible welder. And you've never heard me say anything but that. I am not a welding expert. I have a great group of friends who are, though, so I rely on them a lot for that kind of stuff. Fred says there was an Omaha PD shot about 2 weeks ago. Oh, jeez.
That's terrible.
Michael says there are many tools out of stock. Any thoughts on when they will return? Makita,
It's just a supply.
When they get caught up, man, I don't understand I understand what's going on, but I'm not close enough to it to really be able to be like, oh, sure, looks like they'll get caught up in 9 months. Some point it will happen. Steven says hello from San Mateo. And let's see here. Llama. Llama says, thank you both for a great time. Zaffiel says, shopping anywhere else than Harbor Freight? ? I might understand that if it was Menards, but there was food there.
And there was food there.
Exactly. Anyway, we're over our 7 o'clock deadline, so we got to go. We got cubs to go find and whatnot. Anyway, thank you again to everyone who supported us tonight with the Super Chats. Thank you to everyone who is a monthly for Zafio with the $1.49.
I love it with the unicorn.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all of our members with the bear behind their name there, Princess Jamie, Zafio, and others. Again, if you're interested, there's a link down below. And thank you all also to our mods for helping provide and helping create such a great community. If you want to say thank you to one of our mods, please go over, check out their channel. Give one of their videos a thumbs up. Maybe consider subscribing and ringing the bell over there as well. You can never have too much good content to watch, right? Anyway, that's all we got for you tonight. You all take care. Michael,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Says, you're the best. $5 super chat.
Thank you so much. We really love being part of this community, and we're really blessed. Anyway, you all take care. God bless, and as always, shine on.